Well, hello everyone. It's a grumpy old Nord signing in. Gonna do my first STO video. And I think what I would like to talk about today is something I'm kind of fond of doing and something I know a lot of people have been commenting on various social media that I've seen, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and it's been discussed ad nauseum, but haven't really seen that many good videos that talks about how to complete Tour of the Galaxy, to do a successful Tour of the Galaxy run. And this is something I've just recently accomplished and got my Tour of the Galaxy build dialed in to where I can reliably complete it without too many issues. And so I thought I would show you how I do it and show you my run, and we would have some fun with that. And to start out with, well, the ship. You might notice sitting right in front of you is Captain Carter's flagship, the USS Providence. It is a Fleet Intel Assault Cruiser, Tier 6. Very fond of the ship. It's the only ship I've bought off the C-Store so far. When I bought this ship, which was quite a while ago, it was shortly after I started playing, actually. I think it was right around when I hit level 60, and I realized the last ship that you got, the level 40 ship, just wasn't really cutting it for endgame stuff. And of course, this is before I really got my build dialed in and figured out and everything. But and at the time, I did my entire run through with escorts, and it took me quite a while to realize I still had a lot to learn when it comes to flying escorts. And so when I went to buy my ship, I bought a cruiser because they suited my playstyle a little more. If you've been in pugs with me, or I've been jumping in on Zeph film streams a little bit lately, a couple times now. So if you've seen my playstyle, my fly style, it's cruisers suit me a lot better than escorts do. But this is not the ship that I use for Tour of the Galaxy. You will read and hear that your ship doesn't really matter, and technically that's true because pretty much every ship handles sector space speed the same way, with a few exceptions, and they don't actually have anything to do with your sector space speed, but your slipstream. Because when you're going to do a successful Tour of the Galaxy, you need a good slipstream. And so let's go ahead and pull up the ship that, shut my chat down. Let's pull up a ship that is good for Tour of the Galaxy, and like I said, Fleet Intel Assault Cruiser is a pretty decent ship for combat and all that, but not a good ship for Tour of the Galaxy. Don't mind the massive crap in my inventory. Let's switch to Starship, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that my Tour of the Galaxy ship is the Odyssey class, which I have named the USS Lovecraft. So let's pull the Lovecraft out and have a look at her. Ha! That's there she is in all her Borgy brilliance. And you'll notice the tray powers aren't there. This is actually a full build, and I have a tray loadout set. But I've noticed the past, for a while now, for a few weeks at least, there's been an issue when switching between starships and switching between maps of your tray loadout temporarily getting screwed up. It actually fixes as soon as you change maps. People have said, if you go to load your loadout, clicking that button won't do anything. In fact, it's likely to screw your loadout up. So the best thing to do is just change maps. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to leave the system, go to sector space, and I'll show you what I mean. And there. Now we're in sector space, we've changed maps. My tray loadout, it is exactly what it's supposed to be. So now that my loadout is good, and we're in the ship we want, let's have a look at this ship and what makes it good for Tour of the Galaxy. There's a few items specifically that you want. We'll start with the impulse engine, which surprisingly, sector space, you wouldn't think your impulse engine would be important, but it's actually one of the most important parts. I'm using the assimilated sub-transwarp engines you get from the Omega reputation. I believe it's a tier 3 or tier 4. I want to say tier 3 sounds about right. It's one of those two, tier 3 or tier 4. So not super in-depth to get. Requires some resources, marks, and dilithium, and, all the usual stuff for reputation items. But you want this specifically for, and we're going to go ahead and pull up more details. You specifically want this for, where is it at? Maximum warp factor 21. Which I believe none of the other ones are that high. They're like 1 or 2 lower. There's a lot of arguments that I've read for the Mako engines, and that is debatably also useful, especially if you use your slipstream a lot. Like if you're spending more time in slipstream than you are in sector speed, the Mako engine might arguably be better. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So like I said, the assimilated sub-transwarp engine from the Omega rep is going to be an important item. Another important item, the Obelisk Subspace Rift Warp Core, which you get this from one of the missions. I want to say it's surface tension. I could be mistaken. Actually, let's go double check that real quick. It's right in here. It's toward the end of this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's surface tension. Pull it up and it will tell you... No, it is not surface tension. Okay, I was mistaken. So which mission is it? I know it's one of these in this arc. It might be Sphere of Influence. Actually, I think it is Sphere of Influence, now that I'm thinking about it. Yep, there it is. Obelisk Subspace Rift Warp Core. So, if you need that, if you haven't done this mission yet, or you picked a different reward when you did it the first time and you haven't gone back to replaying it, go back and replay it and go get you the Obelisk Warp Core. It's not a great warp core for combat. It's actually surprisingly a pretty decent warp core, excluding some of the better options. I've seen people use this and upgrade it. Can't remember yet. No, you can't re-engineer it. A lot of things you can't re-engineer kind of bother me. Really wish you could re-engineer rep items. Would make it a lot nicer. But just do Sphere of Influence. Grab that warp core. Now there's a third item. The Polaric Modulator Engineering Console. This is a mission reward for the Delta Flight mission, which I believe is in the Delta Quadrant arc. No? No, it's not. No! I know where it is. It's in the Iconian arc. That's right. Yep, third mission in the Iconian arc.
Captain Tom Paris has requested your ship for a joint mission with his task force.
And there it is, Polaric Modulator.
We're not making much headway again.
Now, why this is a good one. More details. Plus 20% turn rate while in slipstream. When you have a good slipstream, you're going to be hitting multiple systems in your Tour of the Galaxy run while you're on the same slipstream. And you're going to need to be able to turn when you hit a system to get to the next one while you're in slipstream. So that is essential. I don't think we talked about why you want the Obelisk Core, though, so we should probably go back to that. Maximum warp factor 12.34. There's not a lot that give you higher. 50% recharge time reduction to slipstream. And then plus 20% turn rate while in slipstream and 0.2 slipstream speed bonus. So you're going faster, you're turning faster, and you just have a general higher warp speed than your average warp core. So there is another item. No, it's not an item. There is a fourth piece to this build that is not an item that is loaded on the ship. It is a trait. It is this one right here, Leadfoot. While in Slipstream, plus 25% turn rate and plus 10% speed. Now, not a particularly useful combat one, although I've found the while in full impulse, 25% turn rate and plus 10% speed does actually help, not in combat, but like doing ISA runs, stuff like that, getting to the next objective or whatever. Not bad. I keep this trait slotted. It was an expensive trait when I bought it. I believe it cost me 6.2 million off the exchange. And it, like everything on the exchange, it fluctuates. I think the price I bought it is it's like higher end. I've read about it being as low as 1 million, 2 million. So if you don't have this trait, and I can't remember what it's from, I believe it's a lockbox drop. I'd have to Google that. I'm not sure, but if you don't have it, look on the exchange, Leadfoot. Keep an eye on the price. If you're on a budget, wait for it to drop a little lower. Like I said, I bought it at 6 million, but I had the EC to blow. And it is when I got this trait and attached it with everything else that I was actually able to finally complete the Tour of the Galaxy run. So, those are your 4 items. You want the assimilated impulse from the Omega Rep. You want the Obelisk Rift Warp Core from Sphere of Influence. You want the Polaric Modulator from Delta Flight. And then you want the trait Leadfoot. I've experimented with a couple other traits. I have Thrill Seeker slotted, but it really, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It might. I haven't done a whole lot of testing with it on and with it off. I slotted it at the same time I slotted Leadfoot, but I didn't. It might be making a bigger difference than I'm aware of, so that's something to keep in mind. If you are playing around with Tour of the Galaxy builds, Thrill Seeker might be a good trait to slot. I don't think any of my Starship traits. I did have, which one was it? The Advanced Engine trait from, what is this? That's not Iconian. Oh, I can't remember which reputation this is from. Now I'm going to have to go look it up. Let's go look it up. I want to say, let's see here, status. I'm just going to, Delta. That makes sense, actually. So, I did play around with that. Having advanced engines slotted, which 25% flight speed, 25% flight turn rate. But when I switched back to combat and then went to go do Tour of the Galaxy the next day, I didn't slot it back on. I noticed I actually got better time, so it might have been a coincidental, that's, might have been a coincidental thing. I'm not sure. I think there's a couple other traits you can get that increase flight speed, but I don't know that any of them actually affect you when you're in subspace. So, let me go ahead and deal with this real quick. I've been mass producing the energy amplifier batteries because they sell for a pretty penny on the exchange, and if you are after DPS, it's a good item to have slotted and to use, because you're not going to get the bonus if you don't use it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head on down to where I start my Tour of the Galaxy run, which I always come down to this corner of the map. I have a specific map that I follow, a specific route that I follow. One part of getting your Tour of the Galaxy build right is your build. You want to make sure you have the right ship, you want to make sure you have the right items, traits, all that. But you also want to make sure the route you're taking is as fast as you can get it. And I've been playing around with Tour of the Galaxy pretty much since I discovered it was a thing you could do in the game. And, I've gone from, completing maybe a third of the quadrant to, oh my god, I got all of them in the quadrant to, oh, hey, I've completed it. So, one of the key things is minimizing how long it takes you to get from system to system. And I will link it in the video description, but there is a very, very, very well put together breakdown of all the different routes you can possibly take that makes sense. I probably should have pulled it up sooner just so I could give it a shout out in the video, but I will put a link in the description. It breaks down all the different routes you can take, and it gets really into the nitty gritty. The person who put this together put a lot of scientific testing, and just they did a good job. And it's what I based mine off of. There is one route that's listed on there that might be faster than the one that I started using. But I just haven't bothered trying it out because it requires a transwarp. The route that I take does not require a transwarp. It's just a simple map transfer, and you're good. So let's go ahead and jump on down there and get this shindig started. Alright, we have arrived at our destination. It's bright, it's pink, but we are Borg. Wait, no. Shut up, 6 of 9. Don't mind my operations officer, she's a recently liberated Borg, still breaking old habits. But I digress. So here we are at the Eridon Nebula, and I think we are ready to get this show started. So I've been talking about what makes this ship so great and why this build is good for Tour of the Galaxy. Let's show it. I'm going to give some pointers while I do it, but mostly I think... So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure you know what your map key is. Mine is default, bound to M. Map is a keystroke away. I want to be zoomed in a certain level. I go with this because pretty much every stop on this route will fit at least the next stop if you're focused on one stop. So like here, this is our first stop. So we're gonna go ahead and then we're gonna stop. So point it in the right direction. We can actually probably go a little closer, but I don't want to go too close. That is one thing about this, is it will put a gold circle around the system, and if you are too close to that circle, when you start, you will literally have to go around, go away from the circle, and then come back. It's annoying, it's double backing, it sucks, so I like to maintain a good... like even that just seems a little too close. We'll go there. Usually I start at the Eridon Nebula, click the Sanic system, click OK, I'm pointed in the right direction, I stop. But I realized I could probably shave off, a second. A second or two if I start a little closer. And if you start at the other end, that's one thing about this route, and pretty much any route you're going to find on that website. It's going to start you at one spot and have you go in that direction. You can just as easily turn around and do it from the other direction. That is what I am doing in this instance, is the route, the map that it gave, started in the Alpha Quadrant at the Breen system, and then went this way, and I didn't have very good luck with it. I don't know why. I should probably go back and, don't mind me as I continue my business operation here. But I should probably go back and retry it and see what result I get from it now. But I had an issue doing it that way. I, on a whim, decided to start it from the other end, and it worked a lot better for me, so I've done it this way ever since. So you're going to want to have your map up and make sure you know where your key is. Then you're going to want to hit J, or whatever your default mission journal key is, whatever you have it set to. And you're going to want to hit Available. Now, Fed side, you're going to scroll down, and it's going to be right there. You're going to want to talk to J Yim. which he is on ESD. In fact, there's been a few times where I've completed the tour and come back to ESD to, put money in the account bank or do whatever I need to do, and I realize I still have the mission, and it's giving me a location on ESD to go to turn it in. Never bothered doing it because, oh hey, I can just do that right here, right now, but anyhow, KDF's side, I can't remember the name, but it's the same. You scroll down, it'll be there. You talk to another guy, he's a Nausicaan, I believe. And it's the same thing. He just has wittier dialogue, I suppose. And same concept. You click available, you scroll down, tour the galaxy daily. So you're going to want to hit hail. Now you don't want to hit accept yet. Go ahead, close that out. Now before you hit accept, you want to make sure you have everything set the way you want it, the way you need it. Whatever that is, traits, DOFs, whatever, make sure your ship is loaded the way it's supposed to be. Because once you hit that button, you have 15 minutes. So you get your map open in the background, you're pointed in the right direction, you've got the mission open. Click accept, exit, and you're going to hit space. And then you're going to hit Shift R, or whatever you have bound, because then you're going to do that. And I screwed up. I screwed up. That couple of seconds that I saved, I just wasted. Alright, so you're not going to do what I just did. You're going to be on the ball. You want to hit it before you get there. And you want to be on the ball about opening your map. It's not, there we go. Something might be off. Something might have come equipped. Unequipped, I should say. So, I got distracted. Don't do what I just did. You want to be on the ball. You want your finger resting on the key. And you want to be clicking as soon as you can, as soon as you feel safe with your turn rate. Now, when you're in regular sector speed, you have a much better turn rate than when you're in slipstream. So you want to be a little closer. Like that was actually closer than it needed to be for that one, because this one is a very sharp turn. In fact, this is a perfect candidate for manual steering. There are times where steering manually will actually be faster and better. That is a turn you should do it at. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. But when you approach the system, you'll notice right about halfway through, on average, at this speed, which I'm currently going warp 21, it's possible to get higher. My goal is to get higher, and when I get higher, I will make another video showing you how I did it. But you basically want to make sure you're hitting certain spots intelligently, because you can hit it and it'll have that super slow turn rate. When you click the map, it will stop as soon as you get there. So use your keyboard to turn, because for some reason when you're at a standstill in sector space, you have a much higher turn rate. So now I've hit that, I'm going to slap my slipstream back on. You want your slipstream up as much as possible. The advantage flying the Odyssey, this is something I actually forgot to mention earlier, I believe, is the reason I use this ship. Hold on, we've got to make a course correction. And again, use the space bar. You don't have to move your mouse to click. You do have to double tap the space bar. But you just double tap it, it clicks OK. You can use F, but sometimes that causes issues. Other uses it has, I'm not sure, but sometimes F doesn't work. But you always want to have your map open so you know when you're getting close. You don't want to get distracted. You want to be on the ball, paying attention. And again, you want to pay attention to your sector speed and knowing when you've got it. Like, I should have turned sooner there. I got distracted. Actually, this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to complete it tonight because I've been distracted. I've made mistakes I shouldn't have made. Now, I'm not too terribly. I'm about where I usually am. I'm a few seconds behind. But this is going to be interesting. Now, again, we're not in Slipstream, so a little closer. And I zoomed out. I'm not sure why I zoomed out. Because it's safe. It's a good idea to stay zoomed in where you can see it. And you can see where you're going. Now, I've done this route so many times, I have it memorized. When I first started doing this, I had to keep it open in Chrome and just keep switching back and forth to make sure I knew where I was going, and I made damn sure I wasn't distracted when I did that, because, whoo! So I was talking about the Slipstream. Out of Slipstream, going warp 21. In Slipstream, mind you, we have a few seconds cooldown. Now, I'm not going to hit it right now. I've said you want to hit it as soon as you can, but we're coming up on a very sharp turn. And we're going to make sure we stop there. And we've hit it. As soon as you know you've stopped, go ahead and hit the key. And you're pointed in the right direction. Hit the buttons, and then hit your Slipstream. And you see this is a long one. Now, you notice that's kind of a sharp turn. Like, that's a pretty good turn right there. That's pretty much 90 degrees. So we're going to want to make sure we're a good, safe distance from it when we hit this. Like, we don't want to be in the circle. Like right there. That actually might have been too close. Say we hit the system, no problem, but now you see we've got quite an arc. So that one you can hit sooner. But you don't want to hit it too soon or you won't hit the system. Now there's going to be some spots, and this might be one of them. Yep. Where you're going to want to end it early. Now that might seem insane, but don't worry, because you'll notice your cooldown starts as soon as you end it. It doesn't count the time that you still had left. Because I believe I still had like 15 seconds left, 20 seconds, something like that left on it. It doesn't count that. So you hit that and you're already got your default cooldown. So when you hit turns, you need to turn it off. Go ahead and turn it off. And make sure, like I said, one of the key things is you want to make sure you know the key for. Now we're getting up on there. This is kind of a sharp turn, so we're going to hit it a little sooner than I normally would. At this rate, I might not wind up fast forwarding at all. Although this is a slow run, because our oh no, well, see, and now here's another example. Is it worth hitting it to get there when you know you're gonna want it over here? Let's find out. Let's see. Of course, we're still going to have plenty of time when we get down here, so we're going to want to go ahead and turn that off. And let's hit it now. That might have actually been a little too close. Now you notice we just got a nice little chunk of change for hitting that spot because we hit so many sectors at once. Not a bad deal. Now I like to time it. There. Slow down, lose the inertia. I've stopped. I can turn. Scroll up. Before I scroll up, let's go back to speed. Adjust. We're good. Now we've got 45 seconds. 45 seconds. We won't even be there yet. We'll be around here when it kicks in. Right around the Fleet Starbase, maybe a little past it. We'll have some time before we get to Risa. I can't remember how you pronounce it. It's been a while since I watched the TNG episodes with it. Or the Enterprise episode. The only Trek series I've been watching a lot of lately are TOS, TAS. I've been watching the animated series. And Discovery. I've been re-watching Discovery a little bit, just for little bits here and there, because I want to remember stuff when Season 2 comes back. But I digress. We're not here to talk about the show. We're here to talk about the game, and how you can go fast. You wanna know how fast you can go? Let's be anticlimactic there. And we are currently going 42.9, so 43 on a good day. Warp 43 is not bad. We're gonna bounce off the star there because my pilot's a little crazy. Now doing it that way, that's right, I did try this the other night. Doing it that way, you're still gonna be in slipstream when you hit this turn. So you're gonna click that, and you're gonna want to click it right about there. In fact, that might have been a little too close. But you're gonna be on the ball. It's gonna get a pop-up here right about, and you're gonna hit that button. Now when you come out, you're not gonna be in slipstream anymore, so go ahead and be on the ball about opening your map and getting to the next star. Your slipstream's on cooldown for 50 seconds. You're going to be about to hear by the time it kicks in. So it might not be worth popping because you got that, then you got that, and then you got a very sharp turn. That's a less than 90-degree angle right there. Coming at it from there to there. Oh, there I am. I lost myself, don't mind me. I do that a lot. But as soon as you hit the Beta Z system down here, you're going to turn and you're going to activate your slipstream again. So it's going to kick in any second now. Oh. So there is this bug that I have found where if you go to hit your... Yeah, and see, there it popped up. There's this bug that I have found. If you go to hit it as soon as you hit the system, it won't register properly. This is another reason you want to hit it early. Now in this case, when we get to Beta Z, we're not auto-traveling to the Core 1 system yet. We are doing a manual turn because that is a very sharp angle, so we want to be at a full stop, and we want to hit whatever key you have it. Mine's D, which I believe is the default. Then you want to do that, and your transwarp's up, so go ahead and hit that. And you're just going to be ready to go to DS9. Speaking of which, I am so looking forward to Victory is Life. I'm looking forward to making a Cardassian. That's going to be cool. I've played around with the idea of making an alien Cardassian like I've been seeing some people post. Again, you want to make sure you hit it, because that's going to be a large angle. It's one of the biggest issues with doing it this way is sometimes you will hit it just a little too soon, and some of these locations, they're narrow. You want to make sure you hit them right. And we're going to go ahead and shut off our slipstream. And, oh, I hit that button a little too soon. And we want to turn. And we want to auto-travel. We want to be ready, because right around the time we get here, actually I think it's a little past it, I think it's right around here, we'll get slipstream back. You'll notice we've got about 2.5 minutes left. I might not make it. I might have been a little too distracted earlier. This is going to be interesting. This is going to come down to the minute. Did I screw up? But I was talking earlier, and this is going to be another hard turn, so you're just going to let it come to a full stop. Now, one annoying thing about this is you get the pop-up to go outside the known galaxy. That is something they need to fix. There's a few spots where there's a system on Tour of the Galaxy where you're right there, and see, there's our slipstream. Go ahead and hit that. We want to be ready for the next one. This is going to come down to the wire. I might not wind up fast forwarding all that much. Yeah, I think we'll make it. I think we'll make it. I think we've got enough time. Because as soon as we get here, go ahead and drop out of slipstream. You've got a hard turn. And there we go. Oh. What just happened? Oh, nope, not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. I don't know what just happened. That was bizarre. It did not work the way it was supposed to. Yeah, we're not gonna make it now. Damn. Oh, we were so close. If that hadn't happened, we would have made it. Yeah, we're not gonna have time. We're not gonna make it. Oh. And that's why you've got to pay attention. That's why you've got to be on the ball. Now, there are some other things, and we'll talk about that after, that can help. Alright, we might do this. Okay, we're going to hold off on hitting that. I don't think we're going to make it. Oh. The last time I did this, I finished with 35 seconds left. I'm now down to under 20. I'm not gonna make it. See, it's too sharp a turn to hit the slipstream there. You want it to be after. And now we're gonna do that. Nope. Oh, I was so close. So, let that be a lesson to you. This is how not to do Toward the Galaxy. I got a little too distracted there. Now, I'm not sure what the reward difference is, actually. I mean, I know other than another 25... wrong button. Other than another 25,000 for the next system, and then I'm not sure what bonus it gives after that. So, we'll find out tomorrow when I do it. And I won't be as distracted. So... there you have it. There was my attempt. I'm very embarrassed now. That's funny. Maybe I should put this video off till tomorrow. No. So, as you can see, you don't want to get distracted. When I did this run last, I finished with 35 seconds left. And we saw what happened. I had a few mistakes. I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have. So, don't do as Carter does. Carter has a solid crew, because if he didn't, he'd be dead. And we don't need to look at the ship damage to know that. Well, what have we learned? I think it goes without saying that we've definitely learned how not to do it. Other than that, though, zoom in here. Oh, by the way, say hello to the boff that I selected from the diplomacy tree, Red Sonja. Don't judge me. We've definitely learned that you need to pay attention, not let yourself get distracted, and make sure you're on the ball and doing things right. But other than that, what have we learned? We definitely established that with these three items alone, the Polaric Modulator, the Obelisk Subspace Rift Warp Core, and the Assimilated Sub-Transwarp engines, you can get some pretty decent speed, and I mean, 2 of those items are mission rewards. The other one is a reputation item. It's not super difficult to get. Accomplishing Toward the Galaxy is not that difficult. And of course, the trait... oh, wrong one. This one. Leadfoot. Like I said, when I bought it, it was a little over 6 million on the exchange. It might have gone down since then. It might have gone up. It fluctuates like every other item on the exchange. I've seen temporal light cruisers, the Tier 6 Connie, on the exchange for less than 100 million. Pretty sure that was a mistake on the part of the person selling it, though, but that's regardless. But we do know that it is possible, that it is not an impossible feat, as some have claimed. And I have read articles, posts on Reddit and such, where it's even quicker. I read a thing on Reddit the other day, in fact I'll link to it in the description, that made it possible to complete Tour of the Galaxy in under 8 minutes. Of course, it required some pretty expensive items and specific ship and consoles to do it, but it is possible. My next step in my Tour of the Galaxy build is actually to hopefully, come next Phoenix Prize Pack event, have enough dilithium to get enough prize packs that I will get another ultra rare token and get me that beautiful Rissian Corvette. I've been reading that the ship itself has a decent slipstream that I believe, I could be mistaken on this, but I believe is better than the Odyssey that I'm using. And it comes with a console and some other things that will hopefully help improve the speed. I might be misremembering. It might have been the Rissian luxury cruiser that has more things geared more for Tour of the Galaxy. I'm not sure. I'll have to research up more on it. And again, that will be another video for another day, and I look forward to making that. But until then, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments or shout at me at Twitter, Grumpy Old Nord. If you have any criticisms or suggestions, same, please, we want to hear from you. The goal here is to not screw up Tour of the Galaxy, to do it right, to get a successful completion every time, and just get those mad energy credits that you get from it. Now, back in the day, this was long before I started playing, you used to be able to do it multiple times a day. And I was reading about people getting 2, 3, 4 million EC a day from Tour of the Galaxy. I wish we could still do that. We all have things we want off the exchange. My last major purchase was the 23rd Century Prototype Dreadnought Cruiser, the Atlas class. I believe when I bought it, it was just shy of 400 million. And I had been grinding away, doing Tour of the Galaxy on multiple characters. Just everything I could think of to collect EC. This is back when they were doing art quests, and so I would do art quests every day for Zen to sell for keys and get EC that way, which, when they bring art quests back, I'm going to do a whole nother video on that, because that's one thing I've noticed a lot of people are unaware of, is you can get free Zen just for logging into the Arc Launcher, starting up a couple of games, and just doing that every day. It's currently on downtime. They have not announced when they'll be bringing it back. So until then, just know there's another video in the works, in the old brain shed, for that subject. And on that note, if there's any other subject you'd like to touch upon, the theme for this series is Captain Carter Screws Up the Thing. And my goal is to show you how to do a thing wrong so that you can do it right. And on that note, this is Captain Carter signing off. Live long and prosper, my friends. And thanks for watching.